I've written a song cycle for Wilderness Notes, which is the upcoming collaboration between Kirkos and the Experimental Film Society, which will be performed on the 1st and 2nd of September. So in January then, I first started looking into different concepts and ideas that could be used to kind of inspire my piece. At that time, I had already decided that I wanted to write for voice as well as the chamber ensemble, so as well I was very much looking for a text that would kind of resonate with me and maybe be the basis for my piece. And so the first thing of interest I came across was this quote by Jean-Jacques Rousseau, which was about childhood being the sleep of reason. And so it comes from a much kind of bigger piece of writing, but just here's a small extract of the text at least. And it first begins by posing a question. What would you think of a man who refused to sleep lest he should waste part of his life? You would say, he is mad, he is not enjoying his life, he is robbing himself of part of it. To avoid sleep, he is hastening his death. Remember, these two cases are alike, and that childhood is the sleep of reason. And so that led me to think about the idea of reason and that concept being sort of the basis of my thinking, in particular the phrase the sleep of reason and how that could be interpreted. And from then on, that very naturally led me on to an artwork by Goya, which is an etching which is entitled The Sleep of Reason Produces Monsters. And so Francisco Goya was an 18th century Spanish artist, and he produced a series of 80 etchings entitled Los Caprichos, and this particular one, The Sleep of Reason Produces Monsters, is number 43 of those, and it is generally accepted to be a kind of self-portrait of the artist, which depicts him asleep with his head down, surrounded by a number of different creatures of the night, such as owls, bats, and a cat. And these were all generally accepted to be sort of creatures of mystery and evil in the Spanish tradition. And it's also accompanied by a quote, which I'll now read out too. Imagination, abandoned by reason, produces impossible monsters. United with her, she is the mother of the arts and source of their wonders. And so this was some further fuel for me, leading me in this sort of direction, the concepts of imagination and reason. And of course I hadn't found a text yet which tackled them in a deeper and more comprehensive way. But that was soon to come, thankfully. I came across a collection entitled The Sleep of Reason by Mari Creech, which coincidentally enough used Goya's etching as its front cover image. And so I began to check out this collection of poetry and very much liked what I read. The first extract I think I came across was titled Song Complete 1, and it dealt with just a normal everyday kind of scene of a bird, hearing a bird singing, and then yet it explored a much sort of deeper and kind of philosophical layer underneath it, and so this sort of idea of the sort of complementary but yet sort of opposing ideas, that sort of mundane versus the philosophical, those two layers was very much what I wanted to deal with in my piece. And so it was a simple decision to just work with Mari's texts and take it from there.